Today, I'm excited to reveal the top cities Americans are flocking to in 2024 and 2025. These are the cities where people dream of buying a house or renting a cozy spot to call home. I ran a poll asking over 9,300 of you to choose from the 100 largest cities in the US to see where you'd love to live next, and the results are in. I agreed with 8 of the top picks, but 2? Not so much. And can we give a special shout out to the underdogs? Cities like Tulsa and Stockton didn't get a single vote. So, let's dive into the list and see where Americans are setting their sights. 10. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Forget about palm trees and sandy beaches. Green Bay offers something totally different and unforgettable. While you might need to master the art of shoveling snow and perfect your ice skating skills, where else can you get the full package of die-hard Packers fans, mouth-watering cheese curds, and the famous Midwest hospitality all in one spot? This city has a vibe like no other. The beer flows as freely as the Fox River, the fish fries are legendary, and the locals are the kind of people who'd invite you over for a bratwurst and a game of sheep's head before they even know your name, or ask if you're secretly a serial killer. Green Bay's charm lies in its simplicity. A place where people love their cheese as much as they love each other. Just don't forget your winter sweaters, because the cold can sneak up on you. With a population of about 110,000 residents, Green Bay offers a cozy community feel. The average home price is around $251,000, and the average commute time is a breezy 22 minutes. If you're looking for a city with heart, soul, and a strong love of cheese, Green Bay is your hidden gem. 9. Charlotte, North Carolina. Welcome to Charlotte, where the sweet tea never stops flowing and the traffic on I-77 is just as reliable. Over the past decade, this city has skyrocketed in popularity. Sure, navigating to the grocery store can sometimes feel like a marathon, but look on the bright side. It gives you plenty of time to practice your southern drawl while you sit in traffic. Despite the traffic, and yes, it's rough, Charlotte has a lot to offer. The people are generally welcoming. Though everyone's experience differs, the food is mouthwatering, and the energy is vibrant. You might even bump into a NASCAR driver while grabbing a bite at Bojangles. It's a city full of excitement, and if you're up for a new adventure, this is the place. Charlotte boasts a population nearing 900,000, with home values averaging around $401,000. The downside? The average commute is about 34 minutes, far higher than the US average of 21 minutes. But hey, nothing good ever came easy, right? Charlotte is still worth every minute of that drive, and 71 people think so too. Number 8. Lexington, Kentucky. This one's a bit of a surprise, even for me. Statistically speaking, Lexington is fine, but does it deserve to rank among the best cities in the nation? I'm not entirely convinced. It's also a place we've rarely discussed on this channel. Over 1,000 videos spanning 6 years, and Lexington has barely been a blip on the radar. But here it is, front and center. Lexington, where the grass is blue, the horses race like the wind, and the bourbon flows smoother than a southern drawl. It's a city that effortlessly blends old-world southern charm with a modern twist. You could be dressed to the nines at the races in the afternoon, only to trade it in for denim overalls come dinner time. It's a place that wears its love for horses, history, and hospitality proudly. And then there's the basketball. In Kentucky, the only debate fiercer than bourbon versus beer is horses versus hoops. Lexington bleeds blue for their Wildcats, and on game days, the city practically shuts down. It's like a collective prayer, with basketball as the chosen religion. While Lexington's personality is rich, the stats don't quite align for me to call it a top-tier city where everyone is flocking. Still, with a population of 328,000, an average home value around $333,000, and a reasonable 25-minute commute, it's got enough going for it to land on the list. And apparently, 76 voters agree. Number 7. Boulder, Colorado. Welcome to Boulder, a land where the streets seem to be sprinkled with organic granola and the air is thick with the scent of, well, let's call it, Colorado's favorite herb. The locals, clad in tie-dye and fleece, spend their days rock climbing, perfecting yoga poses, and arguing over the finest craft brews. If you love Teslas, or any eco-friendly vehicle, you're in the right place. And if you see a Prius with a bumper sticker that says, "My other car is a mountain bike," don't be surprised. Boulder is a place where hiking boots are perfectly acceptable in the office, and a kombucha conversation isn't just common, it's basically mandatory. Think of it as paradise for the eco-conscious, adventure-loving soul. Now, before you pack your reusable water bottle and head off to this utopia, just know, Boulder's not for the faint of heart or wallet. With a population of about 122,000 and an average home value of $1.2 million, living here comes at a premium. The commute might be a manageable 25 minutes, but the price of admission to this Rocky Mountain Shangri-La is steep. Still, with 91 votes, Boulder has definitely carved out its niche on this list. 6. San Diego, California. San Diego isn't just a city, it's a sun-soaked lifestyle dressed up as a zip code. Where else will you find surfers gliding next to Navy SEALs? While tech bros admire beachgoers they probably won't work up the nerve to speak to. With a weather forecast that's consistently dialed to asterisk perfect, it's easy to see why so many people flock here. It might be a little surprising to see San Diego crack the top 10, but for many, it's a no-brainer. The weather alone is enough to reel you in, and compared to its big city siblings, San Francisco and Los Angeles, San Diego feels refreshingly clean and laid back. Sure, the cost of living is steep, homes average around $1.03 million, but that's the price you pay for your slice of coastal paradise. With 1.4 million people calling San Diego home, 3.3 million in the metro area, you're never far from action or adventure. The only downside? A 29-minute average commute, which, while not terrible, isn't exactly a walk in the park. Still, San Diego snagged 119 votes for good reason. It's a place where life feels like a vacation, every day. 5. Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome to Huntsville, where rockets aren't just for space, they're part of the city's DNA. Huntsville is like the South's answer to Silicon Valley, but with more charm and a lot less pretense. Forget polo shirts and startup pitches. Here, pocket protectors and NASA swag are the real status symbols. After all, with more PhDs per capita than anywhere else in the US, you might end up sitting next to a rocket scientist at your local diner. Literally. Dubbed Rocket City, Huntsville's claim to fame dates back to the Apollo days and continues today with cutting-edge aerospace innovation. It's a tech hub tucked into the heart of Alabama, and it's becoming an increasingly popular place to call home. Unlike the rest of Alabama, Huntsville stands out with its booming tech scene and rapidly growing population of 237,000. Yet somehow, despite the influx of jobs and talent, it's managed to stay affordable, with average home prices around $281,000. Not bad for a city on the rise. What really sets Huntsville apart? The low cost of living, great job opportunities, and commutes that don't feel like an epic saga. Only 22 minutes on average. It's no wonder Huntsville nabbed 123 votes. It's a place where you can chase your career dreams and still have time for a leisurely drive home. Number 4. Raleigh, North Carolina. Raleigh, where Southern charm meets modern living. This city has quietly become a hot spot for people seeking fresh starts, especially those who value top-tier healthcare. Rumor has it, their hospitals are a cut above, drawing in folks from all over. But that's not all. Over the past few years, a surprising trend has emerged. YouTubers are flocking to Raleigh. Yeah, you heard that right. Creators are ditching the hustle of LA and Chicago to set up shop in this oak tree-lined city. And why not? Raleigh's blend of small-town feel and cutting-edge innovation makes it a hidden gem. From the first Krispy Kreme donuts ever devoured to today's tech startups hosting ping-pong showdowns, Raleigh's got layers. It's not just a place to live, it's like stepping into a choose-your-own-adventure book, with something new around every corner. What makes Raleigh stand out is its easygoing pace. Sure, it's a hub for tech and innovation, but unlike other high-tech cities, life here moves a little slower, like the sweet southern breeze through its streets. Raleigh's population is a cozy 479,000, with the surrounding metro area, spanning Durham and Chapel Hill, topping out at $1.5 million. Some call it the research triangle, but trust me, only tourists say that. Home values average around $444,000, and commuting. Not too bad, with an average of 28 minutes. With 129 votes, Raleigh's clearly made an impression. Number 3. Colorado Springs, Colorado. If Boulder is Colorado's hippie haven, then Colorado Springs is its yin, the conservative, buttoned-up yang to Boulder's free-spirited vibes. Nestled south of Denver, this city offers a quieter, more traditional lifestyle. Now, I'm not here to talk politics, but let's just say Colorado Springs leans to the right. Either way, it's a beautiful place with something for everyone. Interestingly, there's talk of a new high-speed rail connecting Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. Whether it's a bullet train or not, it's music to my ears as a fellow train enthusiast. But let's get back to the Springs. With a population of about 497,000, it's growing fast, and the greater metro area adds another 755,000. If you count the whole Front Range, from Fort Collins to Pueblo, you're looking at a whopping 5 million people. Despite its size, Colorado Springs offers a calm, family-friendly atmosphere. Crime rates are relatively low, schools are solid, and the traffic isn't the headache you'd expect from a growing city. The average commute? Just 27 minutes. As for homes, expect to pay around $459,000. A bit pricey, but still a great deal for the Rocky Mountain views. With 169 votes, Colorado Springs clearly stands tall. Number 2. Boise, Idaho. Welcome to Boise, a place where potatoes reign supreme and there's a palpable disdain for Californians. So tread lightly, this quirky city is an unexpected gem, blending urban adventures with stunning outdoor escapes. Locals, known as Boiseans, I think I pronounced that right, are a friendly bunch. Just don't mention you're from California. Seriously, they might prefer hearing that you were abducted by aliens and dropped off near 5 Mile Gulch. Boise's eccentric charm shines through in places like the giant potato statue, which also doubles as a hotel. Yes, that's real. The downtown art scene thrives, fueled by spuds and legends, especially Herman, a giant sturgeon said to roam the river. Housing costs. Sure, they've climbed over the years, but with Boise's growing popularity, that's no surprise. Still, the city hasn't lost its slower pace, much to the relief of locals who wouldn't mind if things calmed down even more. With a population of about 236,000, Boise has a median home price of $489,000 and an average commute time of just 24 minutes. Not too shabby for a place where 228 people cast their vote for Boise as the best spot to live. Although, I'm not sure what happened to the rest of the votes. Number 1. Overland Park, Kansas. Overland Park, where soccer moms rule the roundabouts and buffalo might still roam somewhere. This suburban paradise offers more roundabouts than a European road trip and enough barbecue joints to put you in a meat-induced coma. Forget the hustle and bustle of nearby Kansas City. In Overland Park, the biggest stress is snagging a perfect parking spot at the farmer's market. But don't let the quiet, suburban vibe fool you. Beneath that calm exterior lies a legion of die-hard sports fans ready to paint the town red, or blue, depending on the game. Overland Park has earned its spot on Best Places to Live lists for a reason. On a personal note, I was there about 6 years ago, hanging out near some houses when a cop pulled up. Expecting trouble, I braced for a ticket, but instead, he just asked me to keep my drone away from the houses. Classic Overland Park hospitality. With a population of around 197,000, Overland Park is relatively new, only incorporated in 1960. Most of its homes were built after 1990, adding to its modern feel. The average home price is $441,000, and you're looking at a super short commute of just 18 minutes. Oh, and 259 people voted for Overland Park as their top pick. They're clearly onto something.